Hello and welcome everybody. I'm joined by NRG's mid laner Palafox, the summer 2023 LCS champion. And I think it's a good point just to kind of throw it in that the beginning of this summer feels a little bit like last summer where you guys were kind of on and off, a little bit streaky. Does it have that same kind of feel where you guys are still trying to kind of figure out your groove and coming in with this win? Does it kind of feel like you're on the similar path of maybe becoming the LCS champions again?
Yeah, actually, it really does. I think the first split that we played together, obviously spring, a lot of it was like trying to learn how to talk to each other, balance personalities, and really just like learn how to work together, right? And this split, um, that's kind of what's happening, right? In the first week, I think we're all kind of just like, I think we slacked a little bit on the break, so we really needed time to get our individual skill up. Uh, and now that like the split is going, I think we all really feel a lot of improvement from a lot of our teammates, and like it's getting to the point where like I feel pretty good.
Coming into this meta as well, it's still kind of weird, right? Coming in, playing on live patch, figuring out the new stuff. It seems like double 80 carry or double 80 carry scaling compositions, that seems to be kind of it. A lot of people are playing poke. When it comes to you guys in figuring out the meta, I think last summer you guys had a really good read on the meta coming into it. You also were able to fake a lot of teams out, right? With Dokla not really showing that he can play carries up until maybe towards the end of playoffs where you kind of locked in the jacks, locked in the different picks. Not to really spill the sauce or the secret sauce a little bit, is that a kind of similarity for you guys where you guys understand what to do against other popular stuff, but you're also kind of hiding some of these picks until later on into the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now what I see is like we're practicing a lot of stuff in scrims, and then on stage, we're I think we're falling to comfort a lot of the time.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, the great thing is like I feel pretty comfortable on like a lot of champions. So like today, you can see that there's Tristana, Yon ban, enemy picks Corki. I still or like we even ban like Talia, which is one of my answers into Corki, and then they have two more bans for mid, and I'm still able to just be completely fine. Uh, so I feel pretty comfy. And for Dokla, I think he's like trying his best to expand his champion pool, and um, right now it's like a bit weird because MSI lane swaps kind of shifted things up and like rocked the boat a lot for how the meta was played. Um, and we're all trying to figure out how to play that meta while fitting in tanks and fitting in carries. So
Fair enough. When it comes to like, I would say these like more meta proof players, I think he kind of falls into it as a jungler. I feel like Contracts always has something in his bag per se, right? Like, I mean, obviously last year it was like the Ivern and he brought out some other picks. He also has the Lee Sin always in the pocket. Coming into this jungle meta where it's a little bit more AP heavy focused, has that kind of forced you to, like you said, pick up some new champions in the mid lane, pick up some more AD centric stuff, like you said, just on it being popular, Yone? Is there other stuff in the bag that really kind of you kind of have to pull deep and be like, well, I haven't touched this champion in a while, right? Zed, Yasuo. I'm just throwing all the AD champions out there. Is there some stuff where you're kind of like, oh, I'm a little bit unfamiliar with this territory playing in this AP jungle meta, or is this a meta that you've played in as a mid laner before?
um I mean this is a meta in which like there used to be like AP tops that used to play it with. So like
Yeah,
Rumble Vlad whenever that was a thing, and like Akali, Kennen. Um some of my best like Tristana was one of my best champions actually,
agreed.
that I would like perform on. And then it's like Corki ended up fitting like a really good role for me. Like I understand his spikes like extremely well. Um, and then I'm not gonna lie, like you said, like digging deep a little bit and trying to find new like 80 champs if they're all banned out. I've been looking and I'm cooking up some stuff, but during the 3 week break, we'll see if the patch changes the meta like too much to where like that might not happen. But I've been cooking up a little bit, so
You talking about the patch? Can you kind of maybe explain for the casual audience or people that are watching as to like, all these changes that it came in, lane swaps are still somewhat viable and they're still very good, even with the changes to the turrets. I think they increased the
yeah.
defenses up to 75%. Are lane swaps now, are they not really kind of about necessarily getting the turret down that fast? It's more about swapping your bottom lane or your top laner into a better matchup? Because I feel like, albeit the dives were a little bit sketchy this series, what is the kind of what is the purpose of a lane swap now? Because of the all the turret changes and stuff. I think most people read it and be like, oh, lane swap should be dead.
So, I mean, I don't think Riot understood why lane swaps were happening in the first place. The main reason is um, there's some bot lane matchups that you cannot survive. And if you go bot lane, what's going to happen is like if you play against Kalista Ashe and the jungler is like, I think in the second game if we invaded their bot side with the Kalista Ashe, their bot would get tower dove like on repeat, and that seems like that seems really bad for them. So honestly, like we thought they were just gonna swap their Nami or Lucian Nami top lane, um, because I think the game would have been over if we just did that. And had they have swapped, my Kalista Ashe would have only gotten 2, maybe 3 plates. Quantified, it's 180 gold. Both top laners are going to be level 1. So it's not actually like that much of a lead if you really think about it. And Lucian Nami get to scale to a point where they can safely actually play the game.
It's funny that you mentioned, right? Because like Lucian Nami used to be like the premier kind of bully bottom lane, but it gets this more because of the 80 carry supports coming into the still into the mid, not coming in. They're still
Yeah.
very oppressive. And you have stuff like Kalista. It's more about getting your bot lane, into a position like you mentioned, into that like mid game where they can actually like do things, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
kind of, I don't know, leapfrogging off of that. Does that kind of make top lane a little bit more relevant? Like, does it feel? I mean, I saw both of the guys trying to do their best, both Castle and Dokla came out with a kill on a 1v4. Like, that's the best you can do in those situations, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's literally like the best you can do. I mean, what sometimes what ends up happening is like because top laner should not normally be under the top tower for for the lane swap. Sometimes the top laner just goes through mid, and if mid gets push, like the Renekton that 1v3'd under the bot tower, right? If I was there and my top laner was just taking the mid wave, that guy's gonna die. We're gonna get an extra 450 gold from a kill, and then like sometimes it does feel like it feels like the top laner doesn't have impact, but sometimes his like small movements, like going through mid or getting those kills, right? Like that will literally like change the game.
Yeah. Zooming out from this series and kind of looking into the whole schedule and stuff like that. Obviously, best of threes are super nice. No double round robin, so kind of every week and every match matters. For you as a player, how does the prep go into preparing just for one team and kind of like one player? Obviously, you're not. It's not a 1v1 game. You're not just laning against Immortals mid laner, right? You're not just laning against Mask here, but for you as a player who has been like kind of playing professionally in like a really best of one round robin format, having to prep for 2, sometimes 3 games if it's a super week. What does the prep go like for you as an individual, only having to focus on a best of 3 series? Is it more expanding your champion pool, maybe trying to figure out what the enemy's going to play, and maybe you have some answers into that? Is it a little bit of both, or is there more to it?
So best of ones, you can catch people off guard, but a lot of the time it's just going to be like meta, right? With best of threes, like champion pool and champion depth really matters a lot more. So sorry, what I'm trying to do is like today's series, right? Expand my champion pool to a point where I can enable my team more by giving them more options in draft, right? And I mean, this week, you said it's not just a 1v1 against Mask, but like, I really felt like I could have played any champion and been completely okay. I could have played like the worst matchup in the game and I would be completely fine because of the player I was playing against. And that's like some tendencies that I do take from like player to player, right? And those options really do open up the game a lot.
Is that more of a failure on Immortals as a team to kind of rally behind that? Maybe like maybe they don't think it's a mid diff, or is it something that like just as a natural state of the game, like there are points in this mid lane I could exploit him and they can't really do anything about it?
It's gonna go both ways, right? So I think Mask is a very fundamental player. He'll play very safe when he doesn't see people. He'll play very aggressive when he has people around mid, right? So like in the ASOL game, I've played the matchup against other people, and it is extremely hard to like go even. I usually down like 10 CS, right? against Mask, I was perfect CS. I didn't miss a single one until wave like 5 or 6. So I was like 30. I was like 2 CS down or something, right? And Mask just plays for max CS, occasional punish, doesn't really try to pull people towards him. Because like I feel like if I'm playing, I'm like, well, I still have flash, right? So if I have flash and somebody comes mid, I'll just flash. I'll just play aggressively and I'll pull people here, right? I don't think like anyone on their team really does that, and yeah, I mean that's
Fair enough. Fair enough. That was our final question here. You have any shout outs to the NRG fans that are watching? You know, do you have any like words of encouragement? Like, guys, it was like this last summer. Just remember what happened. We were the LCS champions. Like, do you have any final shout outs?
um I I would just say that I'm feeling pretty good about the trajectory that we're going in as a team. And obviously, if you're a true fan, I don't think you really would have lost faith. So let's keep on trucking, baby.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Thank you so much, Palafox. Hey everybody, thanks for watching the video. I'm hoping you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, leave a like, comment, do all that jazz. I genuinely try to respond to every single comment I see because it's always interesting to see the other opinions of people that care about League of Legends esports as much as I do. Obviously, the best way to support me is to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications on my latest uploads. If you want to see more of me and my content, I stream on Twitch 5 days a week. The link will be in the description box below. If you are into short form content, I'm also on TikTok. We talk about LPL, LCK, LEC, all the stuff over there. We talk about roster moves. So if your jam is short form content, head over to TikTok, hit the follow button there. I'm also on Twitter. So all of that stuff will be in the description box below. But other than that, thanks for watching the video and I hope to see you soon.